The Call of Duty franchise is one of the biggest giants in gaming history. Every single year, without fail, it's been part of the gaming conversation. Whether it was the old school days of LAN parties, Xbox Live lobbies full of chaos, or the explosion of Warzone during lockdown, Call of Duty has always been relevant. But this year, the numbers aren't looking the same. Fewer people are logging in, fewer people are watching content, and fewer people are talking about the series the way they used to. This isn't an exaggeration or a doom and gloom take. It's a reality that's been building for a while. Today, we're breaking down exactly why the player base is shrinking, what led to this slowdown, and why the overall experience just doesn't feel like it used to. Even though Activision doesn't release exact player counts for most titles anymore, there are plenty of signs pointing in the same direction. Steam charts show a noticeable drop for Modern Warfare 3 and Warzone compared to previous seasons. Twitch viewership for new updates isn't remotely close to what we saw years ago. Creators who used to upload daily Call of Duty content now mix it in occasionally or avoid it entirely. Social media activity, especially on Twitter and TikTok, has also cooled off. It's not that the community disappeared overnight, it's that enthusiasm has steadily declined. And when you start seeing fewer people talking about a game series that once dominated online conversations, it becomes impossible to ignore the shift. The first big reason for this drop is simple but unavoidable: franchise fatigue. Call of Duty has released a new game every year since 2005. That's 20 straight years of non-stop annual releases. Most franchises with that kind of output either slow down or reinvent themselves. Call of Duty, on the other hand, keeps trying to maintain the same rhythm while asking players to buy into it every single year. That eventually wears people down. The gameplay changes, the movement debates, the map rotations, the weapon balancing, the way the meta constantly shifts, it becomes exhausting. Even the nostalgia wears thin because the series doesn't give players time to breathe before another entry arrives. We're at a point now where even the most dedicated fans feel like they need a break. And this brings me to my personal opinion. We already lived through the peak of Call of Duty. As far as I'm concerned, nothing has matched the era of the original Modern Warfare 2 from 2009 and Black Ops 1 from 2010. That stretch of time was lightning in a bottle, a perfect combination of innovation, iconic maps, unforgettable weapon balancing, original kill streaks, and a sense of identity that felt entirely unique to each game. The original Modern Warfare 2 had unmatched hype, chaotic fun, and a level of creativity that no Call of Duty has ever replicated. Black Ops 1 delivered one of the strongest campaigns ever written, introduced fan favorite zombies content, and gave multiplayer its own distinct atmosphere. It was the era when Call of Duty felt fresh every single year, and each title had a personality. And as much as the new Modern Warfare reboots have moments of greatness, they do not measure up to the original Modern Warfare trilogy. The storytelling isn't as gripping, the gameplay feels safer, and the magic that made Modern Warfare 2 and Black Ops 1 legendary just isn't there. When you compare the modern games to that golden era, it becomes easier to understand why people aren't sticking around like they used to. Warzone deserves credit. It absolutely rejuvenated the series in 2020. It pulled in millions of players who drifted away after years of disappointment. Verdansk became one of the most iconic maps in Battle Royale history, but as updates rolled out, the magic of Warzone slowly faded. Many players still feel that Verdansk was the best the mode ever offered. Caldera never captured the same atmosphere, and Warzone 2 dramatically altered mechanics in a way that alienated a huge percentage of players. The slower movement, adjustments to looting systems, and removal of certain fan favorite features made the new Warzone feel like a different game entirely. Even after updates tried to reverse those decisions, the player base didn't fully return. Battle Royales evolve constantly, but Warzone's evolution came with sweeping changes rather than smart refinements. The result was burnout, and it's one of the biggest reasons for today's drop in engagement. Call of Duty doesn't exist in a vacuum either. Apex Legends continues to grow thanks to consistent updates and a strong competitive ecosystem. Fortnite remains a cultural phenomenon and constantly reinvents itself. Valorant dominates tactical shooters. Rainbow Six Siege has long term players who appreciate its depth. Even extraction shooters like Escape from Tarkov or the Finals offer something that Call of Duty simply doesn't. Instead of being the default first person shooter that everyone gravitates toward, Call of Duty is now just one option among many, some of which give players more variety, less monetization pressure, or a more rewarding skill curve. The moment Call of Duty lost its go to first person shooter status, part of the player base naturally drifted away. Another undeniable factor is the accumulation of controversial design decisions. Every year, players debate aim assist, SBMM, server consistency, overpowered weapons taking weeks to fix, recycled maps replacing entirely new ones, fear of missing out driven shop bundles, and constant adjustments that seem to prioritize monetization over gameplay quality. The communication between developers and the community has also fluctuated. Some seasons feel transparent and collaborative, others feel like feedback is ignored. Over time, these recurring issues wear down players' patience. A video game can survive one or two bad updates, but it can't survive years of small frustrations stacking on top of each other. Eventually, players decide the game isn't worth the effort anymore. Creators have always had a huge impact on Call of Duty's popularity, but this year, more creators than ever have shifted their focus. Many of the big names who used to upload Call of Duty almost exclusively now spend most of their time streaming other shooters. When creators leave, the communities follow. The ripple effect is enormous. Fewer people watching means fewer people thinking about updates, which means fewer people logging in. Call of Duty once thrived off viral clips, memeable moments, and massive waves of hype that creators generated. Without that consistent spotlight, the franchise simply doesn't feel as dominant. The important thing to understand is that Call of Duty isn't dying. It's still one of the most recognized franchises in gaming, but it is losing momentum, and that momentum won't return unless the series makes major changes. Players want longer development cycles. They want new maps instead of heavily relying on nostalgia. They want consistent communication and fewer decisions that feel like they're driven by monetization instead of gameplay. And honestly, many players want the channel of creativity and originality that existed during the Modern Warfare 2 and Black Ops 1 era to return. Whether the franchise can regain that spark depends entirely on the direction Activision chooses in the next few years. So, yes, call it fatigue, call it competition, call it missteps in design, but fewer people are playing Call of Duty this year, and the reasons have been adding up for a long time. The series isn't doomed, but it is at a crossroads. And if the developers truly want Call of Duty to dominate again the way it did during the Modern Warfare 2 and Black Ops Golden years, they'll need to make bold choices, not safe ones. Let me know what you think in the comments. Are you still playing Call of Duty, or did you drop off? And what era do you think was the true peak of the franchise? If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell for more deep dive gaming content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, game on.